Today, we are digging into Nvidia's latest earnings report. And believe me, the numbers we're about to see are so huge, they tell a story that goes way, way beyond just one company.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a number that honestly looks like a typo. $57 billion. It's a figure so massive, it's kind of hard to even wrap your head around.
And yeah, to put that into perspective, this is what one of the world's most important companies pulled in just 3 months. This isn't just a story about success, it's a huge signal of a seismic shift happening right underneath the entire global economy, and it's all being powered by artificial intelligence.
And this chart really just shows you how fast this is all happening. Look at that jump. We're not talking about some small startup doubling its revenue. We are talking about a tech titan adding more than $20 billion in revenue in a single year. That kind of growth at this kind of scale, it's practically unheard of.
So how in the world does a company pull this off? Well, it's not luck. According to Nvidia's own leadership, this is the massive payoff from a very specific, very long-term bet they made on exactly where the world of computing was headed. So the management team, they frame their entire strategy around what they call 3 foundational platform shifts. And the key thing here is they believe these aren't happening one after another. Nope. They're happening all at the same time, which is creating this perfect storm of demand for their technology. You can almost think of this revolution like a 3-layer cake. Each layer is building on the one that came before it, and Nvidia's whole strategy is to be the essential, can't-live-without-it ingredient for all 3 layers. Okay, so first up, you've got the foundation. For decades, right, computers got faster because of Moore's law, which is basically just cramming more power into the same space. But that's hitting a wall. So instead of these general-purpose chips, the world is shifting to specialized, accelerated computing, using platforms like Nvidia's CUDA to solve enormous problems way, way more efficiently. Second, you have the layer that we're all pretty familiar with by now, generative AI. This is all about replacing older classical machine learning with these incredibly powerful new models. It's being plugged right into the heart of billion-dollar businesses. Think search engines, ad targeting, and as management pointed out, it's delivering massive, measurable returns on investment literally right now. And then you get to the third shift, and this one is the most revolutionary of all. This is that new wave of AI that doesn't just, generate some text or an image, but can actually reason, plan, and interact with the physical world. We're talking about everything from AI coding assistants that write software to the autonomous robots that are going to power the factories of the future. This shift alone is creating entirely new industries out of thin air. But look, a vision is pretty useless if you can't execute on it. So let's take a look at how Nvidia is turning this 3-part strategy into financial reality and why that $57 billion number is so heavily skewed towards one specific area.
Now, what is so fascinating about this slide is just how clearly it visualizes their complete dominance. I mean, just look at that massive blue slice. The data center segment, that's the division that powers the whole AI revolution. It now accounts for over $51 billion. It's not just the main engine of the company anymore, it is practically the entire engine.
And their confidence, it's really coming from a product roadmap that is just executing flawlessly. The current Blackwell platform is ramping up smoothly, and they're already talking about the next generation, Rubin, being on schedule for 2026. This kind of forward visibility is a huge reason for their super bullish tone.
But, it's not all smooth sailing. Geopolitical tensions have created a major problem. Management was really blunt about this. Huge orders from China, they just vanished. So now, they've taken the pretty drastic step of assuming they'll make 0 high-end data center revenue from China going forward. They're basically taking that risk right off the table for investors.
So you've got this incredible growth on one hand, but also a major challenge like China on the other. So the big question is, can this actually last? And that brings us to the really big debates that are swirling around the company right now. This is the question on every single investor's mind. I mean, when a market is this profitable, competition is absolutely inevitable. So is Nvidia's dominance defensible against all the rivals and the giant tech companies that are building their own custom chips? Well, CEO Jensen Huang, he tackled this question head-on, basically laying out their competitive moat. And his whole point was that it's not just about having one good chip, it's about the whole system. They lead in every new tech shift, their tools work for every kind of AI, their platform is available everywhere, from the cloud to private data centers, and they create this massive ecosystem. It's an advantage that is just incredibly hard to replicate. And of course, when asked about a potential AI bubble, management pushed back, hard. They reframed all of this spending not as speculation, but as the foundational build-out of a completely new kind of industrial infrastructure.
So in their view, this isn't a bubble. It's the beginning of a brand new utility.
And that confidence is backed by just incredible long-term visibility. They actually said they're already tracking towards $500 billion in revenue just from their current and next-gen platforms through the end of calendar year 2026. And they made it very clear that they expect that number to grow.
But even that is just a start. They believe the number they're truly targeting is the total annual market for AI infrastructure, which they estimate will reach up to $4 trillion by the end of the decade. They are positioning themselves to capture the lion's share of that entire build-out.
So, when you look beyond all the crazy numbers, what does this all really mean? Well, if Nvidia's right, this isn't just about one successful company having a great quarter. It's a sign that we're at the very, very beginning of a new industrial revolution, one that's powered by AI. And the real question isn't just whether Nvidia will keep growing, but how a world that's completely rebuilt on this new technology is going to change all of our lives.